What is peer-to-peer learning, Dan?
I have absolutely no clue.
Das Internet ist für uns alle Neuland.
That's ridiculous.
So at 42, we take away the teacher, and you're going to be learning with each other and collaborating a lot, working in teams to be able to solve the problems that you're presented with.
Peer-to-peer learning is a method of learning through collaboration rather than competition. It's a way of finding answers together with your peers. You essentially use people that are sitting next to you as sources of information.
The idea of peer-to-peer learning, I've never experienced it before, and it's really different from the approach that I had in the university and regular schools.
There's a lot of interaction. I mean, that's your main source of information is how you support others and how you're being supported.
For me, peer-to-peer learning was arriving at the first day here and knowing nothing about code, and then in the first hour one guy teach me something, and the next minute I was teaching that same information to two more guys, and since then it's like this.
One of my favorite benefits or features of peer-to-peer learning is that it is not ego-driven, not competition-driven, but peer-driven and project-driven. You don't necessarily care as much about you yourself being better than others or learning something just for your own benefit, but you are driven by the success of a project, success of a group. With peer-to-peer learning, we want something that we are doing to succeed. We want others to succeed together with us. It really shifts your mindset and shifts the mindset of us and the way that we used to learn it at high school or university.
Here is the first time that I'm learning not from someone who's above me, but from someone who is equal to me.
I studied at 2 universities, didn't learn as much in 6 years as I learned here in the first 2 weeks. So for me, teacher is a big no.
I can say that so far it was the best experience ever that I had here in 42. I really like to be inside of the group and working with other people.
With peer-to-peer learning, it's not that you sit down and somebody tells you to press this button and look for an information here or there. You sit down in front of a computer and you can find your own solution to a problem that you're given. This is a project. You have to make it happen. However you get there is okay. And that opens up a world of possibilities. You can use your own creativity, and you can use the creativity of other people around you to get to that solution.
42 gives an excellent chance also not only practicing your code, but also communication skill, like soft skills. So I guess so far, if you're good with soft skill, you can overcome anything.
So in my opinion, the peer-to-peer environment is what makes 42 so good. And I have to say, before starting, I was a bit skeptical about it. But then day after day, I was feeling a little bit better about it, and then again more, and a little bit more. After a week, I just realized that, yeah, I was completely gone from traditional teaching style, and I was way more into this teaching style.
Some people have been brought up to need that kind of authority figure to bring you the information, to feed you that information. And I think that's totally fine if some people learn better that way. If you're somebody who likes to code by themselves and is not able to share that knowledge with other people, that won't actually get you very far in the curriculum, because the pedagogy that we have, the peer-to-peer pedagogy, it relies on being able to share that knowledge with others. What peer-to-peer learning does allow you to do, though, is to be able to become more independent and adaptable, and to be able to find your own answers, and that's what's really key.
I think it works under certain conditions. Like one of those conditions is that people who participate in this event, in the PSIN, will have various levels to begin with. Like not everyone is absolute beginner. So there are people who can share knowledge, who can teach a little bit, and that's important. And the second one is people feel motivated to share and to teach. And I think 42 does it well. Like I felt everyone who could be useful for others, in the end also was very much useful. They were really open to help you. So that was working well.
Well, in the beginning, yeah, I had some, I guess, difficulties because there were so many people.
First I was lost, and then I just looked around me, I saw a peer, and we started searching together, and then it was just easy to code, and you already know that if you're stuck in something, your peer gonna help you.
Peer-to-peer learning is a lot like what happens in real life in a company. When you work for a company, a client will give you a problem to solve. And they won't give you the recipe of how to solve it, they won't tell you how to solve it. It's really down to you to come up with your own answer of how to solve that business need. And with peer-to-peer learning, it's exactly the same. You're going to be finding your own information, you're going to be sorting that information to figure out what's relevant, what's not relevant, and then you're going to propose a new solution with your team, and then it's together with the team that you're going to produce the solution to that problem. So peer-to-peer learning at 42 trains you for the real world.
It is part of working culture to find solutions together, but also to give each other feedback, right? To feed off each other's experiences.
I enjoyed talking to people, especially I prefer to evaluate people because I guess sometimes you see people doing stuff in a completely different way that you would have ever done it. And if the person shows interest in the code and is someone who is willing to learn from what you did, it can also be quite rewarding, I would say.
And there will be a further episode about evaluations where we'll go into more detail. But you should know that at 42, we do evaluations every day. So every time that you submit work, it will be evaluated by other students.
I feel that peer-to-peer learning contributes students in many ways, but for me the most important part is that I actually can contribute to the society and to people around, and I feel that it motivates me to move forward.
The most valuable thing that you can have as a developer is being able to communicate and talk about your code and to be able to explain that abstraction of what's happening on the computer. For a lot of people, you're like a magician if you're a developer. Nobody has any idea what you're doing. And being able to explain that to other departments, being able to explain that to a business unit, being able to explain that to your client or customer, that's what really makes a developer better than others and better than one who would just be so focused on the code that they can't think of anything outside of that.
Thank you.